Hey everyone, today is episode 449. I am continuing on with the Derwent Chromaflow review. This is going to be a part 3 of 3, as well as a daily color. I've done some swatching, haven't finished the swatching. Do have one interesting discovery to note before we get started on the coloring project. Because of how well I like these pencils, I decided I wanted to give them like a good college try. So I have a very special daily color to color with you today. It's actually going back to a work in progress that I had not finished. And this will finish off one more quarter of it. But before we do that, I want to share with you one anomaly that I found with these pencils. I don't know how many more I will find, or even if this is a common thing. I did a quick Google look and did not find like anything on Reddit about the fact that there are any colors that are completely wrong. But you can see that number 620 is green. The color is sangria, and it is supposed to be decidedly like a wine color, and it is green, and I immediately knew by the tip that it was wrong. So that brings up the one other strong selling point about these pencils. Yes, they are a little bit more money to get the full set, but you can buy them. I found them on Blick. They're $1.08 a piece, so they are orderable as singles. So that is one of the good selling points. So I just am going to continue on working through my swatching. I'll show you how far I've made it, and then we will get right on into the setup for our coloring project, and we'll see how far we get today. So here is my big sheet that will be disc bound with all of my other swatch sets. I will of course hole punch so I can see through to make colors. This is rachelhendersonColoring.co.uk. And I did put links on the 3 episodes to her, I believe her coffee shop, where I downloaded this from. And then I also put a link to all of Color with Claire's charts. She has a website with a page full of her charts, so you can refer to any of the descriptions of these episodes about the Chromaflow and see their charts. And here is how Claire's color chart is coming along. Now, because, and you know, I love my swatching, but I'm going to say in the last year and a half where I have done a focus on coloring over swatching, that I will admit I get really antsy to color. And because of my time off that I took in July, I really feel that I want to color. So I am going to stop doing my swatching. I have brought out my calendar. This is the 2025 weekly coloring planner. I have colored in it sporadically with you, and I did start a project that has not been finished yet. Look, and I went right to it. I do keep track of my coloring for my channel, as well as just, you know, like this, I worked in the yard, so I do like to keep track of everything that I am doing in my coloring life, with little snippets about my personal life as well. So if we look at this lovely sunflower, I also have my diagram of what I'm working on, and I can tell you that this is the each of the quadrants and which sets were used. I have my color swatches for each of the colors, and I am going to go ahead and zoom in here and fill in another column with you guys for the upper left quadrant is what I will put these Chromaflows into. I see that I came up with 2 words for each, so I will try to quantify these pencils in 2 words to add to the chart, and then I will think through what I will put in the other 3 quadrants, because it would be nice to get this finished. I'm a person that does not like to have forever whips. I really like to keep things moving. Here are the very rough little stars by the colors that I have picked. My colors are here in my cup. and I will share this image with you a little more closely. What I did with this image is at the end of coloring, because I wanted mixed colors, there's a lot of different color tones intermixed, which means that I couldn't really burnish the my traditional way, which is going over with more layering and more usually burnishing with the lightest color in the family of like the lightest green. But because of the way I colored this with so many commingled colors, I ended up using my Caran d'Ache Bright Full Blender. So I plan without thinking, like this little square here has not been burnished with the colorless blender, and now it's all mushed together and smooth. Again, the reason for the colorless blender is that I have commingled a whole bunch of colors. I even think this one has not been done. So I don't want any color. I want to have just the binder. I want a clear burnish. I don't want to alter the colors anymore. I just want to mix them all together with this lovely blender. So this is a very specific instance. I don't often use blenders. I don't think I finished this particular one all the way. And the finish that I get with this colorless blender is fantastic. The only thing I am not sure of is, you can see that I have, if I do some moving around, I have sparkles. Those are my Tan Mitt gel pens, and as I'm coloring along the line here where there will be more gel pen added, if I get this pencil binder over the edge, I am not sure if it will make it difficult for me to put the gel pen over the top in the end. So we'll just have a play with that. So this is my quadrant right here that I am going to fill in the outermost area, as well as 1/2 of the flower here and 1/2 of the flower here. I am challenged by this giant flat leaf. I'm going to do my best to make it interesting here. You can see where I have mocked up the area here, as well as done all 4 of these bits. Actually, that side too, I think. These are using the blues, so this little area is my practice, and there's my plan for the leaf. A very rough draft of it. This is just copy paper. I've got a pen here, and I'm going to go ahead and log that this quadrant, Castle Arts, is the middle, and Derwent Chromaflow is the outer. So that's my plan for that quadrant. I'm going to go ahead and zoom you guys in. I will tilt you so that my hand can be comfortable. And then the cool thing that I like with this camera, with the newer, updated, 5 years newer technology, is that the zoom is way, way easier to manipulate. So I am going to do my sheet with you. Let's get the pencils set out here. I hope everybody is having a good summer. It has been blazing hot here in Florida. It's my 4th. I can't believe I'm saying that. Yes, my 4th summer. I arrived on August 4th, 2021, and thought it was hot then, and it is way hotter this year than it has been. And then this last winter was way colder than any of the previous winters, so it has been a big spread, and my parents are here and are getting the full experience of the cold winter. They were this winter wearing their fluffy parkas that they brought from the Pacific Northwest, and now they're finally understanding what the full summer here is. So I've got my pencils, and I've got a pencil so that I can, a graphite pencil, so I can log what the colors are. And you know what I think I need to do? I don't want to color on my book, the original book that is. So we are doing DC for Derwent Chromaflow, and we are going to start with Sun Yellow 100. So now we're going to get into how do these work on the various papers, because this is copy paper, and I already did some coloring with the copy paper on it, and that went pretty well. And then we will be coloring with or on Johanna Basford's calendar here, or coloring planner. This is Butterscotch 320. Chai 1825. Bourbon 2001. Because I haven't swatched these yet, there is a possibility that after I would have them completely swatched. Oh, 2001, and I wrote 3001. You have my mono zero here. Yeah, I have not done a daily color in so long. I just really felt compelled to get started. It is also August 3rd, so I think that also is a driving factor, because I really wanted to get back to a schedule here. This will be the third video this week. Now we're going to do the dark brown, natural brown 2100. I had a much needed break from pretty much everything coloring. Not that I don't still do coloring stuff even when I am taking breaks. I am always watching videos, shopping, like I was, you know, my eBay search results pop up every day, so those are hard to avoid. Alright, so now we're onto the greens. That's so funny to watch my up here. I put my pencil names up at the top. I try to be consistent, but I don't always succeed, because here I put my colors on top and my names and numbers below. I have to have something to, another housekeeping. Here's what happens. There was one of, so far, because of the tin being dented, which my stepfather, who is a sheet metal worker, retired, he actually has tools to form metal, and he actually fixed the corner of the tin so that it can go get stored in my closet and be ready to have these pencils in, because the lid would not close due to the denting, which was probably dented from shipping. Remember, I bought these secondhand, so the person who originally bought them already got them dented. The only damage so far is this one light green. The tip was broke off halfway, and it did fall out when I was prepping for using the, picking the colors. So there's how short it is already. Again, the nice thing about these pencils is that you can buy singles. So if it was really important to you, and maybe the Prismacolor, you wanted a Prismacolor like pencil, but you didn't want possibly the quality issues. I have not heard a lot about poor quality of these. I can tell you the presentation quality on the barrels is very good, and my Prismacolors are very hit and miss on the quality, where every single one of these is consistent and looks exactly like this with a nice tip colored dipped end. So it does give them an edge, and they are a very good brand. So we've got 1730. They cost a little bit more than what you would... Oh, did I just give you the wrong one? Sorry. Key Lime 1720 is the one that was cracked and is the lighter color. I'm going to fix that. And then this is the darker color. The one I just told you, Spring Bud 1730. We'll see if taking a break from coloring means I'm going to be rusty and need to get my sea legs back. So that's those two. I have not sharpened these except for that the Key Lime I did sharpen. Tropical Rain 1620. You can see there's quite a wide range of colors here, and I went ahead and went with this kind of a blue-green. So there will be some differences, and I am okay with that. Basil 1600 is the dark green, and it also has a little variation. That's not too bad. It's our Crayola that's a little bit lighter, and then 54, which is Castle Arts, that has a lot less blue in it. And this is Basil 1600. Last set of colors are the blues, and I see that I added a little bit of brown with the blue. You'll also note that here in the green, I did not log, but I did use on the greens. If you look at my leaves, I have little bits. Those are not flaws or marks. Those are intentional little bits of brown to make the leaves a little more realistic, and I probably used the middle brown here. Okay, so we have, there is this little bit of me testing for, that is a Tan Mitt gel pen. So our lightest blue is called Light Blue 1400. I am thinking, if you guys have already gone there, I will say Deep Sea 1320, since I believe that these are created as alternatives to, that's an absolutely fantastic color. And here, Outer Space, oh, you guys can't even see what I'm doing. Huh? Let me move my camera. So sorry. Okay, so where did we get lost? 1720 Key Lime, 1730 Spring Bud, 1620 Tropical Rain, 1600 Basil, Light Blue 1400. There's where I was talking about having a gel pen that I was just seeing how close of a match it was. And then I colored this and notice how close it is to Outer Space. Very blue. Not each of these two brands are green. Even this one has a lot of green. So there will be a difference there. And the Outer Space color is the Crayola. And then these dark colors, oh, those are not the same. Isn't that interesting? I went crazy and picked different browns for down below that are not the same as the colors up above here. Why I do these things sometimes, I don't know. I probably had put the other colors away, perhaps. I bet that's the case. For now, I'm going to go ahead and take the Natural Brown 2100. I do have, if for some reason I really want something darker, I had picked out a darker brown that had, oh, coffee. Yeah, I knew it had coffee or espresso. Coffee bean 2010 that would be akin to this dark brown. So I'm going to set that to the side. I don't know how quickly I will get to the background. It could go quickly because it isn't a huge area to color. So that's our color palette. Again, I am looking for 2 keywords describing these pencils. With my coloring today, and I am going to move back to the top. And I have to go up. I do need some room. I think that will work. All right, so we're going to just start with yellow. I have not done a whole ton of pre-planning. As I get started here, I will tell you initially my one word for sure with these is fast. They're very speedy. We'll see if that term sticks with them. I also feel that they are, on this particular paper, they feel pretty buttery. When I was working with them initially, I felt that they were more like a Holbein, which is a little bit of a cross between silky and buttery. But on this particular very smooth paper, I am going to say that we're definitely on the buttery side of things. And I'm just kind of roughing in the yellow, all the yellow bits. Now that was sun yellow, if you're following along, or the equivalent. It is possible with, we've got all these colors on this color chart for the different brands. Again, it is Castle Arts Gold, Crayola, Color, and which Color it is, I do not have the specifics, but I am pretty sure that this is the Color 180. It's a 180 set by the numbers I'm looking at. Starjoy Gold and today's Chromaflow. Oops. That was in the wrong one, because this is, I really only need half of that, because we're cutting it down the middle. Again, wouldn't it be fun to have the Prismacolor here on the right? I think that would be a lot of fun. I am still in the middle of the sea turtle, so my Prismas are in use. However, the color palette on that sea turtle is so specific, and they are not these tones, so I bet I could go ahead and do a color match without having to touch those that are already pulled to be used to finish up the sea turtle. I do have, before I get going with the sea turtle, I have probably a very quick, what I completed last month. Not a ton, but I did do a little bit of coloring. I did have one class. I don't think well, maybe I've shared with you the Tuesday's class And then I colored a tiny bit. Wednesday night is mostly during the summer. It's just Dawn and I. And we do very small. She's very comfortable with small images, and so we are doing small images. And I worked on a page that I did all the backgrounds for with different mediums. And so I colored a couple of houses with her. And then we did some metals last month with the Tuesday group, and then we're working on a floral. So yeah, these are very pleasant. So now let's get into, golly, all of these crazy center bits that will be browns. I have my 3 brown tones. I am going to choose the middle tone, Bourbon 2001. And I'm going to just kind of get a layer started. I've been using medium-ish pressure. Kind of just, you can see I'm just adding a flat amount of brown. Okay, so I have way over here, I have these teardrop shapes. And I am going to repeat them way up here on those teardrop shapes. So I will be starting, this is the middle brown, and I can put a little bit in here. And then I can also repeat that same dark to light with this shape. We've got lots of little dots and triangles and things. I'm going to do a little sharpening because those are so small. This is the light Chai 1825. Light pressure, just a little, I'm going in like little circular motions. Now we have to make the bigger part of the drop the lightest color. So I haven't filled in these large petal bits. I'm gonna go light toward the end of the petal. I always think of flowers, the end of the petal is the oldest part of the petal and is somewhat faded and light. I know that's not always the case, but that's just my way of dealing with them. I have not done this flower, have I? Let me move so you can see the flower way down here that we missed. I'm going to grab the dark brown, and that is Natural Brown 2100. Heavy pressure. And before we move away from this, since it's so far away from the other group, I'm going to take the middle and these pretty much blend instantly. Alright, so that one, let me stop what I'm doing and do a little bit of yellow. I've been leaving the ends of the petals almost white to mimic these other floral elements done in this case, Castle Arts, I believe. Okay, the last one to get that flower going is our orangey yellow called Butterscotch 320. Okay, so I was starting to talk about the plan for videos, at least for this week. Something very exciting is happening early this week. Rita Berman's Hidden Seasons, which I bought back in May, I think, is due to drop this week. I don't even know what day. In the meantime, okay, so that flower is done enough, and I'm going to come back up here and we will get to work on our browns again. I'm going to go with the dark being Natural Brown 2100. Okay, so we've got Hidden Seasons being released. I buy brand new books very seldom. I buy used books. I think I've bought a few books this year. My goal has been to color in them at least once. One of them was the nature mandalas, and I colored the hedgehogs. I think I didn't color the original, though. I think I colored a page, I believe. I was doing some testing of paper, and I used alcohol markers. So I have already purchased Hidden Ocean, and I did a reveal of that, and we did a flip through. I'm just going in, I'm adding some detailing and shading, and then I'll move on to one of the other flowers and do some more shading. So on Wednesday, when Dawn comes to color, instead of doing our little tiny projects we work on, we do things like the tickets and just everything. She's very comfortable with smaller images, but she bought a book at Michael's this week that is these very tiny detailed scenes. It's like tiny worlds, I think. Can't remember the artist's name. And she has decided she is going to go through it front to back like I did with Small Victories. Just some relaxing coloring for her to do, and that way she doesn't have to be stressed. It's so detailed, actually, that she doesn't feel it will intimidate her into trying to do her own details, which she prefers not to do. Okay, so I need to go in and do the middle brown at some point on that one, but I'm going to keep on with the shadows and move over to this flower. And I think that I need to make the tip here of the teardrop the darkest. So I told her I would color with her with my Hidden Oceans. She wants to do her title page, and I did a colored with you guys in it. Just a very simple little element. And so I'm going to color the title page because this has a nice title page. I'm going to color it with Dawn, and then I will come back and hopefully do, there's 2 kind of intro pages, fairly simple, and so I'll color one of them with you. We'll do the very first one, her and I together, and then I will color in a daily color with the second one, because I really want to be, any book that I buy brand new or that I order new, like with Magical Worlds, Johanna Basford, which I've colored, I think 5 pages in that one now. I want to be coloring in them. I'm not so feeling like I need to color in these used ones that I get, but the new ones, I really need to be coloring in them. Else, why did I buy them? So there we go. I'm going to clean up. I have missed a yellow up here. Let me get that filled in. The edge does flip up the corner here. Sorry about that. Okay. The middle brown, I need to sharpen. So I already have quite a few coloring things going on in my head that I want to be working on this week. So I should have no problem getting 4 coloring videos. It was always my goal to do about 4 a week, and then I ended up wanting to complete a book, so I often did way more than 4 while going through small victories. I was very goal-oriented there. But I'm happy with, 3 to 5. This week I'm doing 3. That's a good number to get back in the groove. So this is the middle color, and it is Bourbon 2001. And hopefully we will be switching colors to the greens and to get the leaves done. Might be missing a few elements, but I'm gonna not worry about that. Okay, so greens. Let's start with the dark, which is Basil 1600, and we're gonna just block in. I was toying with another, like the dark brown. I have a darker green if I feel this isn't dark enough. Yeah, I didn't pull it out though. So we're gonna just see. We've got these lines. Those are all going to be a Tanmit gel pen. I'm ignoring these little blue, hashed lines for the moment. Now remember, I had my sample. Going to be kind of soft. I don't want to commit yet. It's my cheater light layers so I can see it develop, and then if I need to erase or change out colors, I can. And I have to remember to move. So I went ahead and did the start of that big flat leaf. Little round circles, soft, 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 so that if I need to erase, I can. And then I know that I'll be dark in these corners, so I'm going heavy pressure there. And I'm just going to leave that as it is. I have to decide if these two bits are leaves. And that is a gel pen. I don't know why we have double colors there. Oh, and that's a gel pen. I'm going to say that this is triple gel pen. So hopefully I can remember that plan. I will go ahead and make these leafy. I might have to sharpen this dark green to get into the corners nicely. These are soft pencils, and I'm seeing that the tip does dull pretty quickly on them. That's a background. That might be a background right there. So I'm going to leave that. That'll be blue. And let's do some green. All the way. Yep, you guys can see it. To make sure I wasn't off the camera. Background, background. I'd like these leaves to have a rounded appearance, so that is how I will be coloring them. These have a rounded appearance, and this is a continuation of those same leaves, but done with a different set of pencils. So I will be mimicking it. I'm probably going to stay here and focus on this one leaf. I'm moving to the second lightest color, which is Spring Bud. Middle brown. I want some flaws in here. I've got the key lime is the lightest green. Using heavy pressure now. And I want to pop in with basil, which is my darkest color so far. I have not decided to darken it yet. And that is not anywhere near as dark as this is. So it is possible when we come in for the next round that I will have a darker green to finish that off. I'm going to pop up to the corner here. We're at 44 minutes, but I might continue a little bit with just a little longer, not too long, with these greens, so that we'll be working on the background and finishing the leaves. Middle color is Spring Bud. These are very compartmentalized leaves, so it'll be hard to give them a curved look. We won't really know what we get until I have the metallic on here. the 210 Mint colors is like a bronze color, bronzy tan, and silver. And again, if you guys don't have these pencils, don't worry about it. Grab whatever pencils you have. Match as close as you can. Okay. I want to make sure you can see what I'm doing here. Oh, and I need to do that as a leaf. Oh, and I didn't need to do this other side. I'll have to erase that side. Where's that brown? Middle brown. Bourbon, 2001. I'm adding very soft little bits of the brown. Lightest brown or lightest green, key lime. Pretty much just going darkest to lightest on the leaves. All right. Now, moving back to the top, we have to brighten up what little we can see here of these edge leaves. We're going to call this session complete. We will come back and do a little more work. I will have decided if I want the lighter or to go with a darker green. Or not. And then this one needs a little bit. So let me bring this up a little bit. And that's what we have completed today. So thank you everyone for joining me. I hope you enjoyed coloring with me today. And again, use any colors that you can. Follow along with any sunflower picture images you want. Try with using the different colors and commingling just for fun. Do all of the YouTube things. Like, share, comment, consider subscribing. And I will see you on the next one where we will continue on with our daily color. And this concludes part 3 of 3 of my Derwent Chromaflow first look. Everyone take care, and I'll see you on the next one.